Hey everybody, welcome back to illegal.wmv. Took the day off, waxed the caddy. What a beautiful day. Stay tuned for more.
Tweet. And then a tweet.
Oh, hey everybody. Welcome back to illegal.wmv. Alright. Unless you live in a fucking cave or on the moon, right, you've definitely heard about that illegal immigration bill that was passed by the governor in Arizona. Alright, well, I'm devoting a whole page to my website about that. But before I can do that, I gotta give you a little history lesson, okay? Alright, well, the cleanguy.com, alright, hasn't been the political genius that he is right now all his life, okay? So I made a little chart here that, you know, chronicles my political knowledge and this and that. And I think it's got a lot to do with the relevance of voters and people in this country. Because after I wrote it and I looked back, I said to myself, yeah, it certainly does. Okay? Well, let me start out with, let me see, age 1 through 10. Don't know shit. Well, I'm 1 through 10. I shouldn't know anything about politics. Okay? I'm just trying to figure out how to grow up. Okay? And then I got 10 through 20. Okay? Where I was this rebel teen guy, you know, long hair and all that shit. And, you know, I actually voted for Jimmy Carter. Oh, gee, that really turned out well. Okay? And, you know, believe it or not, I'm sad to say this, but that was the only time I voted in an election in my entire life. Well, come November 2nd, that's going to change. Okay? Then, I got a chronicle from 20 to 30. Alright? And I got just living large. Okay? No, actually, I wouldn't say 20 to 30, maybe 20 to late 20s. Okay? Just living large. Okay? Alright? Me and my twin brother living out in Indiana. We DJ'd in every bar in that town. Okay? I swear to God, there was 2 to 3 years where we didn't pay for a drink no matter where we went. Alright? That is still the highlight of my life. Okay? Nothing can compare to that. Okay? Alright, and then 30 to 40, just trying to get back on track, because when I was 29 and I actually moved back here, okay, and I was working in a place in South Grafton, I was making some big coin. Okay? I was a shirt and tie supervisor, and they got laid off. Okay? And I was making some serious coin. So it took me quite a while to get back on track. Okay? And I worked as a temp, and I did this and that, and you know, it sucked. It sucked, but I dealt with it, okay? Alright, I worked at this place called Boyd Coating in Hudson, and it really made me laugh, because I was there for like 3 months, and it was the most boring, shittiest job I ever had in my life, and I can't even remember what it was. It was just incredibly tedious. But when I went to go leave, they told me I was the best temp they ever had. I'm thinking about, Jesus, how many fucking losers did you get until you came across me? Alright, so that was kind of a semi-turning point. You know, I got back into the supervisory biz, which was what I was doing for, you know, less money and busting my ass and not wearing a tie and everything else. But, you know, it's not like, you know, I knew I had to do something. You know, it's not like, well, oh, gee whiz, I can't go back, you know, I can't accept a job lower than this or lower than that and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, I did. I struggled. And I you know, it worked out for the best, okay? And then I got age 40 to 45, okay? And the reason why I say 40 to 45, because that was when I owned my house in Worcester, okay? And, you know, I followed the, you know, the politics on somewhat of a level, but not that much, because you know why? Because I was too busy fighting with the city of Worcester, okay? I saw my real estate taxes go up year after year after year after year, and you know what? I had a tree, and it was a public tree right outside my house. It was brushing across my roof and taking down shingles, and I called them, and I called them, and I called them, and they said I was on some mythical list, okay? Well, after 2 years of hearing I'm on some fucking list, I called the guy, a private guy, right? I had to pay him like $150. He was out there that day. He trimmed that fucking tree back. And then I called him about the sidewalk, you know, public sidewalk in front of my house, you know, that, you know, had huge divots in it, and somebody could fall down on the sidewalk. So fortunately, all right, when the city came to repair it, I wasn't there, because my girlfriend saw it, and they drove up and they threw some fucking black tar on the fucking divots that were in the sidewalk. They pounced it down with something and they drove away. Well, gee whiz, about a week later, all that shit washed away, and a buddy of mine, Russ, had to come over and cut up all the old concrete and lay new concrete, you know. So, you know, there you go, all right? Somebody I can trust that can do a good job, Russ, and the city, which I can't trust to do anything. So, you know, from 40 to 45, I pretty much fought my battles with them assholes, okay? All right, I had a third of an acre. I wanted it subdivided. I wanted to do this, do that, so I could sell the house as a double lot, a buildable lot on the left-hand side. All right, even though there was a triple decker across the street from me that sat on the same size fucking land that I had available. But they said, no, you can blah, 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 blah. Okay? So I went through that shit with them. And finally I sold the place. And I'm so glad, because I don't have to deal with those dickheads. Because all those years, they brought in revenue. All right? A shitload. Okay? And while I was there, living there, I read in the paper that the superintendent of schools was making like $125,000 a year. And he was getting a rental car. I mean, a lease vehicle. I mean, if you're making 125 grand, you can't pay for your own fucking car? So that's when I said to myself, all right, enough's enough. You know, I'm glad I'm out of here. Okay? Now, all right, I got 45 to 52. Okay? All right? This is pretty much, finally, I get it. Okay? You know why I get it? Because it comes down to I pay and those who don't.